I just did, and you just did that. So you're going to have to edit that. Good job, Richie. Oh. Well, we're live right now, by the way. All right, here we go. Bama's playing Vandy. Who would have thought this would have been the game that it's turned into? It's a big one in the SEC. We got you covered right here on the Bama Tailgate shows. Let's get this party started.
The original Bama football tailgate show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Floribama world famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mesrano. Mesrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show with Jay Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie, and for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview Alabama and Vandy, 2:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Got a great show for you today. We got Chris Lowe from On3. We got Thom Abraham from our affiliate up in North Alabama, ESPN The Zone. We're going to pick games. We got a special guest that's going to come on here with us in a second. We'll get into that as well. But this is the Bama Football Tailgate Show. It's presented by Pearl River Resort in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Short drive from Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. Vegas-style sportsbook at the Golden Moon Casino. I'm Mick Gillispie with Jake Coker. Bama, number 10 in the country, 3-1. Vandy is number 16 in the country. They're 5-0, Jake. And here we are at the Stryker Strong Golf Tournament in Bessemer. I see you taking notes. Are you doing some homework?
Yeah, I'm getting ready, man. This is one of those games where this is what nightmares are made of. Kind of a matchup problem for us. We got a lot of guys out on defense. They've got a guy who's really changed their program, and Diego Pavia. Love what I saw for the most part against Georgia. I think we're on the right track. But again, Vandy with Diego Pavia and Clark Lee, they're not the same old Vandy. I think this is it's the first time they've been undefeated coming into the Alabama game since 2017, and that one didn't go well for them. But the first time we've both been ranked in a matchup since like 1936. So it's an odd matchup, but they've got momentum on their side.
Wow. How old were you back then?
My dad wasn't alive back then, and that's shocking.
That was
he's up there.
That would have been Jules Monnier days, right?
That's right.
Your
That's
grandfather,
right.
famous grandfather. Well, look, here we are at Frank House Golf Club in Hoover, and this is the Stryker Strong Golf Tournament, and this is something that we wanted to do. We wanted to do one of the shows from here. Robbie Glenn's one of our friends. And we're here now. This is like a one-off. You know, normally we're at Innisfree or at the Floribama, but this is a good cause.
Yeah, you get to see people in their own element, especially Robbie. He's out here having a good time, raising money for a great cause. Known Robbie for probably the last 5-6 years. You know, he played baseball at Alabama, and so it's a kind of an athletic fraternity. when you go to the University of Alabama. And he's been a great guy to get to know. And since I've met him, I've been at this tournament every year and really enjoyed trying to help raise as much money as possible for his son and his foundation.
Yeah, Stryker's strong. Everyone's happy about Alabama going to Georgia and beating the Dogs again. And I think this is the game where even the Georgia fans admit that Bama is their daddy.
There's a mental edge there. There's no doubt
10
about
out of 11.
I mean, the drop ball, the fourth down, the lack of a fourth down conversion when we basically gave it to them. I mean, even the things that didn't necessarily go our way from a matchup perspective, we found a way to make a play, or Georgia found a way to not make a play.
Right.
And, at this point, you got to think we just live rent free in their heads at this point. We can't lose to them unless we, lose all of our receivers due to injury.
Right. Yeah. The one time that we lost of those, and we should have beat them that game too. I agree. Can Bama build on this though? Can Bama build on that win?
Well, I think Alabama has, it's kind of like the most dangerous team in the country in the last 15 to 20 years has been a team that Coach Saban has coached and has lost a game. And I think we went ahead and got that out of the way with the Florida State game week 1. That team, I think when we all saw that game, we really weren't sure where Alabama's ceiling was. I mean, do we have the culture here to win a national championship? How are we going to respond? And is this the worst that we're going to see, or is this, going to be the standard the entire year? And, I think when college kids, they get ridiculed like that, and at Alabama, you're held to a higher standard. You've got one of two ways to react, and that's either come back and it's you against the world, and you're fighting for your life from a season perspective, or you start feeling sorry for yourself and you give up. And it's pretty obvious what this team has decided to do. We've come back, and you watch just the effort in the last 3 games since Florida State. It's been nowhere near that team week 1 is unrecognizable. Mm-hmm. And, obviously we're dealing with a lot of injuries on defense, but I think we're doing what we can. And offensively with Ty Simpson as a quarterback, I mean, I don't know if anybody can stop us. And
that's the last thing I wanted to ask you in this first segment. It's Ty Simpson's team now. Feel like that. Like he's the captain, and he's won these guys over, and he's great.
Yeah. We talked prior to the season about our expectations for Ty, and him leaving after this year to go to the NFL is not out of that realm of possibility. With the weapons he's got, and Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Brooks, and then the guy like Jam Miller in the backfield, and really a pretty seasoned offensive line, we were set to have a good year offensively. Again, we've already talked about Florida State, but we're seeing that team that we thought they could be in the last 3 weeks. And Ty is one of those guys where, and you have really got to fear him when he's got the ball in his hand. I mean, you look at, again, Florida State, we're out of sorts. They intentionally tried to pressure us 17 times. You look at the Georgia game, I think it was somewhere around 10, and I think most of that happened in the first half when Kirby thought he'd be creative enough to get in Ty's head and bring some things that he may get confused by. But he quickly learned that Ty knew the answers to the test. He got the ball out, and you saw them get a lot more conservative on defense. And it slowed us down a little bit, but, we were still able to make the plays to win the game.
Yeah, it was a great win for Alabama. They're playing Vanderbilt. We're going to talk about that. I want to remind you guys that New Life Art and newlifeart.com, proud partner with us here on the Bama Tailgate Show. Use our promo code Bama Tailgate, 20% off at newlifeart.com. Daniel Moore does amazing prints over there. We got a special guest, Stephen Mesrano, who's going to join us for the next segment. Alabama and Vandy, and we're previewing it right here on the Bama Tailgate Show. We'll be right back.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll!
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll!
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Floribama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Floribama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Floribama or online at FloriBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins. And get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
As it gets to her. Saturday, October 4th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com. More at AaronLewisMusic.com.
I'm American as it gets.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American as it gets to her.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
Previewing Alabama and Vanderbilt right here on the Bama Tailgate Show, brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Also, shout out to our friends at Black Belt Outdoor. They're in the heart of the Black Belt region of Alabama. And since they have been here in the state of Alabama, they've expanded their coverage into 13 counties, including Central Alabama. And you're saying Black Belt Outdoor. Those are those giant billboards that you see Jay Coker and me on throughout the state. They have static and digital billboards. We appreciate those guys. Our friend Bradley will get you taken care of over there. But, guys, as you watch on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, like and subscribe, thumbs up. Also, if you're wondering where our podcast is, we're part of the Next Round now. So you guys can catch Jake and I on the Next Round on their platform with our brand new show called Last Call. But it's the same as Elephant in the Room. We just have a new name for it. And we appreciate all of you guys for being here. And that includes our friend Stephen Mesrano. And this segment and also having you in here is brought to you by Steve. And hey, good to see you, man. Roll Tide.
Hey, roll Tide, guys. Great to be here. What an awesome calls today. First time I heard about this, and really kind of hit me being a father and having children, and then understanding what Robbie's going through with his kid. I mean, the rare genetic disease that has congenital abnormalities called TBRS. My heart goes out to him and his family, but what an extremely worthy cause, and what he's doing to bring awareness and help to find solutions for the families and potentially, hopefully, a cure for this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're at the Stryker Strong Golf Tournament.
No, yeah. Kind of to mirror what you said. When you have kids, and I didn't realize it until I had my first daughter, you don't realize, how much you appreciate your community, your relationships, everything else. And when you see something like this with Stryker and Robbie, man, you want to help out as much as you can. And you know how much you love your kids, and it's hard not to really be a fan of Robbie because of his selflessness and the things he's done to try to raise money for it for other people.
That's why we're here today to support Stryker Strong and of course Robbie, who is an Alabama alumnus and played baseball there. Guys, Vanderbilt coming to Tuscaloosa, big game against Alabama. This is only the second time in 80 years that Vanderbilt is 5-0. The last time was in 2008, and it's only their second time on game day. What a colossal game this is for them to get this kind of platform.
Yeah, I think it's huge for Vandy. I mean, I never thought I'd be like scrounging to find Vandy tickets. I mean, it's just think about that for a second. But I guess it goes to show you what Clark's doing up in Vanderbilt with Diego Pavia, to the players that they've recruited and got with NIL. I mean, looks like Vandy's kind of a real deal. And I think it's for the first time ever you've got to be worried about the Commodores.
Yeah. Last year we were up in Nashville doing this show, and
best show we ever had.
We thought it was going to be a great trip, easy steamroll job on Vandy, and we were making jokes and had Preston Dial, who's living up in Nashville now, has some Vandy coaches as neighbors. He was making jokes too. We all thought we were just rolling through Saturday, and it's going to be a lot. This show's going to have a little bit of a different tone. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I thought it was. We did it at Live Oak up there. I thought it was the best show we ever did. We had so many people that showed up. Taylor Hicks came in. Big sexy Elmo, Brett Elmore, one of his last shows before he died. And
Stephen, we're excited about having you too.
Stephen, no. Thanks for making our guests feel comfortable.
With me.
I thought Mick was like hyping it all up to say it's even going to be better this year because I'm on the show. And so I was like, yeah, come on, bring it. Jake just like smushed me like a bug.
We
hope you're a real wordsmith, Stephen.
Stephen, we expect you to play harmonica like Taylor Hicks did going out of break. You remember that?
I guess it's a good thing because I'm a personal injury lawyer, so Mick's safe. I don't know how to sue on something like that.
Oh, my gosh. This working with this guy. All right, look, Diego Pavia is a Heisman Trophy contender. Johnny Footballs are going to be on the sideline wearing his jersey. He's going to be he's honestly one of the top 3 contenders now for the Heisman. I think Bama's going to have a really tough time trying to stop him from running.
The first thing, can you pronounce his name right?
Pavia. I guess I got to give him some respect.
Yeah, all right, let's continue.
All right. I think it's going to be not only tough to pronounce, but tough to stop.
Yeah, well, the thing about this Vandy defense, this Vandy offense, to me, it mirrors Gus Malzahn in Florida State the closest of any other team we'll play this year. A lot of movement. You have to stay sound on defense and follow your assignments. Cover the guys you're supposed to cover and be there and accountable for the runners whenever they take the ball and you know who has the ball. The problem with that is that they isolate a lot of matchups and you have to be good everywhere on the field. And there's going to be a lot of one-on-one matchups. You can't. The problem with these RPOs is those alley players. You can't cheat and play the run. They like to run the ball, but once you start doing that, they will RPO you to death. Get the ball out on the edge and make plays, and then eventually suck you into the box, and they're going to take their deep shots here and there. You got to have answers all over the field, and it's easy to have answers sometimes, account for everybody, but playing it and doing it the right way physically is going to be the tough part.
Well, Stephen, I'm not even sold on this defense. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, Alabama's defense?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I hate to say it as a diehard fan. They scare me. There's a weakness there, and I'm not really sure. During the break, I was asking Jake about it and the differences in the defense where it is today from years past. And they have their moments, but if you go back and look at the Georgia game and what they were able to do on that 4th down, maybe that gives them a lot of confidence to stick to their training, to what they've learned, and understand that it takes the team, and maybe they'll just take it one play at a time and hopefully do what they need to do. But I think the game is really going to be an offensive battle. I'm hoping that Alabama can come out, get a quick lead, and then it's kind of going to be one of those, can we get a stop? And once we can get a stop, if Ty and the offense keep doing what they're doing. But I'd like to see the Alabama offense not take the foot off the gas. I thought at Georgia we played conservatively in the second half, given what Georgia's defense gave us. But I'd like to see Alabama just take the time of possession away and just march down the field and score every time they get the ball. I think that's kind of how this game's going to play out. In my opinion, it's going to be who can get a couple of stops to win the thing.
What'd they do to us in the second half, Jake, to slow us down, Georgia?
Yeah, again, to me, when you look at Georgia defensively, I thought they came out really aggressive in the first half against us. Ty, I don't think they realized how cerebrally advanced Ty is, and he saw everything. He got the ball out on time. He recognized pressures. There was no answer defensively, and I think at some point you got to just say, all right, we're going to go too high, and we're just going to try to minimize damage here and make windows tighter and get pressure when we can. And, our run game is still developing. I think Jam Miller did a great job coming in and really filling that void we had at the running back position. And he was able to block. He was able to run. We didn't have a lot of explosive runs at all, but we did enough with the run game to make them respect us. And so, again, some of the play actions, were probably more effective. They couldn't just dial into the pass game 100%. And I think they leaned heavy that way in the second half and closed a lot of windows, but we were able to be efficient enough to hold the ball and score when we had to.
So you look at this matchup last year, you mentioned it. Vandy stunned Alabama 40-35. I thought Bama wasn't ready. And I think this has been the biggest problem I've had with Kalen DeBoer, because he's done everything else really well, right? But the discipline that it takes to be successful and maintain that success is different than the discipline that it takes to try to beat somebody in a one-game situation. I just feel like Bama's going to get a big effort from Vandy, but I feel like, and I may be wrong, that Alabama's going to live up to that today. I really think they're going to be prepared.
Well, I think that's the hope. You bleed crimson, that's the hope that they're going to step up and the team that we want to shows up. But, if you look at Coach DeBoer over the last two seasons, I think they've done a really great job with everything they had and what they're going through. There's a lot of changes with coaches and the identity that the coaches want, things they want to go through. But kind of had more of a question for Jake, because if you look at that Vandy game last year, we get a pick six early. I think on the first series they score. How did that change the mentality of like Milroe as a quarterback? How does that change you if you're in that pocket, in that situation, you want to win that game? Because it seemed like it deflated the team a little bit. If you look at Florida State, in my opinion as a fan, they came out and punched us in the mouth so quick. We weren't ready for that. I think they came in like, we're Alabama, they're Florida State, they were 0 and whatever last year. We're going to steamroll them.
Mm-hmm.
When you get popped in the mouth early in the first series, how does that affect you? How does that affect your way of thinking as a player? Then how do you go out and execute for the rest of the game? I think it's going to be key for us. I don't know. I think that may be key.
Well, for me, last year, I think Kalen DeBoer's first year, and then offensively, when you look at our wide receiver room, I think the lack of experience is really what killed us in a lot of situations. I felt like, and I haven't watched that pick six from last year since last year, but if I remember right,
it was like a deflected ball.
Well, I felt like Ryan Williams didn't come back on a curl route or something, and it was just we weren't efficient in running routes and being where we were supposed to be. Jeremy Bernard was our most efficient receiver, and again, Ryan Williams was so young, and really the only guy I felt like Jalen Milroe could count on was Jeremy Bernard. And so when you get that pick six early, you don't have a lot of confidence in where these guys are going to be. Early on in that game and something bad happens, I think those negative plays start compounding, and you probably play a little bit slower than you're capable of playing. I think this year when you've got Ty, you've got Isaiah Horton and the rest of the stable of receivers that we have, that their confidence is really high. Vandy's, to me, they're a too high zone team. They don't really get too crazy with pressures. And they'll play man behind it sometimes, but it seems to bite them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see them being able to do much outside of, hey, let's just try to get two high safeties and and try to make the window small and hope that Alabama somehow doesn't score here and there, and we can score with Alabama. That's the only way I see Vandy hanging in there and keeping it with us. They played, I think they're the best team they played so far this year is South Carolina. South Carolina outgained them offensively, only scored 7 points, had 4 turnovers with a backup quarterback in there. I feel really good about our offense.
I like the way you give me that smile, like I'm missing something in this match.
You're missing something.
Okay.
I get to it when we make our picks.
All right. Well, look, we'll get there. What Bama are we going to get? Florida State or Georgia, Alabama? Hey, guys, I want to remind you, too, that we give away stuff right here. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, hit that QR code, Avenue D, Mick Nation. Gave away tickets to Wisconsin. We're going to give tickets away to other games, but we also have gear and merch, and you can win cash and prizes. So I'll check it out right there at Avenue D. Hit that QR code and be part of what we're doing here on a daily basis. Steven, stick around with us. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Alabama. We'll get into their defense a little bit, a lot of the injuries that Bama is dealing with right now. More of the Tailgate Show coming up right after this.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 6 of Leonard's Loser. The little smart pill machine was spitting out those losers last week and finished at 25-8. Cousin Will from Vegas maintained his perfect guess prognostication record and goes to 4-0. Percy, pull that rope start and let's get her started. Kentucky versus Georgia. The Cats make the trek to the Athens Pound for a nooner down south. Both teams are coming off a L last week, with Uga being drowned by a high tide and the felines spurred to death by a gamecock. This could have playoff consequences for the Red Clay Hounds, and they best be wary of Wildcats lurking between the hedges. Leonard's Loser, Kentucky. Miami versus Florida State. The number 3 ranked Hurricanes blow into Doak Campbell Stadium Saturday night, looking to maintain their lofty position in the polls. The Canes had a bye week, while Osceola's Spear was dulled by Cavalier in Charlottesville. Norville's Knowles need to rebound in this interstate rivalry to keep their playoff hopes alive. Leonard's Loser in an upset, Miami. Clemson versus University of North Carolina. Who would have thought the Tigers would be at the bottom of the ACC, 1-3 and 0-2 in conference play going into Week 6? Tar Heel mentor Bill Belichick has been given a warning on promoting son Steven, who is the Heel defensive coordinator, for the head job. At 73, Dad Belichick will be leaving Chapel Hill sooner than later. Dabo's felines best come out on top of this one, or his seat could reach scalding proportions. Leonard's Loser, North Carolina. Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. The 4-1 Bulldogs head to College Station to face the number 6 4-0 Aggies. The Bull Puppies lost a thriller in overtime to Tennessee last week, while the Aggies squeezed by a War Eagles 16-10. This SEC matchup may be decided by how well the 12th man plays. Leonard's Loser, Mississippi State. Texas versus Florida. This SEC slobber-knocker matinee in Gainesville should provide some Saturday afternoon fireworks. Highly touted Horns quarterback Arch Manning had a breakout game against Sam Houston State last week, tossing 18 of 21 for 309 yards, 3 TDs, and no INTs. But that was Sam Houston State. The Giant Water Lizards have an impressive defensive stat, only allowing 5 TDs while posting a 1-3 record. The line opened with the Horns a 7.5-point favorite. Gator coach Billy Napier best stir up some offense to turn down the heat on his thin seat. Leonard's Loser, Florida. Vanderbilt versus Alabama. The Nashville Yacht Club set sail for Tuscaloosa at a matinee performance in Bryant-Denny. The Red Effluents have been licking their tusks, looking to avenge a huge upset as a 23.5-point road favorite last year in Music City. The Doors are riding their dinghy in the 16 spot, while the Tide holds the 10 spot. The Tide has a stingy defense at home, giving up only 14 points. Leonard's loser, Vanderbilt.
Fans, we're going to take a break right now. Be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
All right, welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us here as we preview Alabama and Vandy. Special guest Stephen Mesrano with Jay Coker and me, Mick Gillispie. The segment's brought to you by our friends at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Our buddy Barry Buckner has got you covered. So if you're looking for a new vehicle, I'm telling you right now, go see Barry, and he's got you covered. So we appreciate those guys for being part of what we're doing here. Let's talk a little bit about this Alabama game, right? You're talking about Bama, and you're talking about Vandy. And I don't know why you put the camera on me, Steven, because you're still on here. Can Alabama affect Vanderbilt's offense with their offense? Meaning if Bama controls the clock, is that going to help Alabama in this game?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, I believe so. You look at Vandy, I think they average 25 pass attempts a game. I mean, they're not a team that wants to beat you throwing the ball, but they are effective enough because Diego Pavia is a good player. He's accurate, and he knows when to get the ball outside the box, and they will dial up. They will dial up some explosive pass plays, and he is pretty accurate, and he'll get the ball to those guys. But they got to get the right looks. So I mean, they want to run the ball, and they're gonna incorporate Diego Pavia. I think he's the guy that carries the ball the most. But when you force those pass looks, you have to be able to man guys up and get the job done. Last year we struggled with that. You can point to multiple plays. I think they've got a few transfer receivers in, and they're a little bit more effective in catching the ball. Now, last year, those guys we had never heard of, and they're grabbing balls left and right, and they played out of their minds. But again, when you get those matchups and you force those matchups, force them to throw the ball, you got to be able to cover, and that's what we've struggled with here and there all year long.
Stephen, I feel like Alabama has potentially one of the most explosive offenses in football.
Absolutely. I mean, you watch the way that offense played against Georgia, what they did against Wisconsin. Ty Simpson has, I think, blown everyone's expectations out of the water. And then I think I saw the other day on two of the boards, he's on the list for the Heisman on two of how many categories there are out there. I mean, who would have thought Ty Simpson coming in as a starter after the Florida State game, he would be where he is. But I just think it shows you got to give credit to the coaching staff. I mean, if you look at what plays they put him, what Grubb has called in, where he can make his checks, he's comfortable with his quarterback doing things. I think that's just a great credit to the Alabama coaching staff. But I do like our offense against any defense that's out there right now. The only fear that, and I like it because I think our offensive line's a lot better than they were against Florida State. I think they threw some things at us that we weren't prepared for. And I think, if you look at where they are now, what they've done over the last 3 games, I think there's an edge about them. And, I'm not a big fan of this new whole TikTok, seeing what the pregame speech.
You should see his TikTok.
The pregame speeches from the players and stuff, and maybe y'all are all about that. But I kind of I liked how we leaked the whole Saban stuff at LSU about making them quit, but hearing Ty's speech, I guess they showed it right after the Georgia game about how they had to be gladiators. It's them against the world.
Yeah.
I kind of like that mentality, and it seemed like the players bought it and they went out and did their job, and you just got to hope that they keep that mentality. And I guess that's a question that we were talking about earlier with Jake was how do y'all players do that? And you said it's kind of different today as it was back when you guys played. But
well, yeah, I mean, I think if you've got a camera set up in the building and you're doing dances, I don't want to speak for Ryan, but I think he's stuffing you in a locker.
Ryan Anderson.
I think you should be stuffed in the locker.
You don't think he would have liked that?
What are we doing?
Yeah, you have to think about the way those kids are today than when you guys played. I say the same thing. Like, you're not focused on what you're about to do. You're trying to get that little paycheck, or what do you have to do to keep that paycheck coming in the door? I could be completely wrong, but I would think your mind needs to be on what y'all are about to do. And so maybe somebody does need to get shoved in the locker to get their hips.
I hear that. Guys, thank you for all the comments in the comment section. Brian, near and dear to my heart, good day to get the Freebird salty. Anybody that knows my boat's name, the Freebird. Now, this would be a great day, but we're talking about Alabama football here at the Stryker Strong golf tournament in Bessemer. So appreciate you guys, and keep those comments coming. Make sure that you're a subscriber to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. And again, as I talked about earlier, Elephant in the Room is now called Last Call. We're on the Next Round platform, so you guys can check us out there with Lance Taylor, Jim Dunaway, and Ryan Brown. So we're hopefully we don't ruin their channel.
It's 50-50.
We're trying not to. We're going to try not to. There's a lot of injuries with this defense right now, guys. And you're talking about some really good players. Jamarian Latham has a neck injury. Quay Russo broke his foot. He's going to be out for a while. Jeremiah Beeman out for the season. How can Bama overcome those injuries with guys that are like pretty much either redshirt or true freshmen?
I'd have to defer to Jake on it, because my mentality is, if you're coming to Alabama, you've got to be the next guy ready to go, and you better be a dog, and you better play lights out because you're wearing the script A. But again, I'm a fan, so that's my belief. But I'd have to defer to Jake.
Again, when in 2015 when I was playing, we had Dalvin Tomlinson, Jonathan Allen, Ashawn Robinson, D. Payne, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson. I mean, you could go on and on about the depth. And so, I mean, those teams aren't built anymore. You don't have that anywhere in the country anymore. Yeah. And that's why you're not going to see, I don't think you'll ever see another undefeated team in the history of college football. It's going to be like, you may get one and it'll be the Patriots or Dolphins in the NFL. I mean, it's probably not going to happen because you don't have that depth anymore. I mean, how does Alabama, recover from that? I don't know. You got to get those guys ready to play. And it's just a lot more thin than it used to be. So, I mean, we'll see. All those guys I just mentioned were drafted, I think, within the first 4 rounds in the NFL draft. I don't think you're going to have that anymore where your 1s, 2s, and some of your 3s, are all getting drafted that high. Anthony Jennings was on the scout team that year. I mean, you've got, guys, it's insane. Yeah. So, I mean, depth is a far greater issue than it used to be. And, it's hard to predict how you win with lesser depth than we used to have. I mean, it's just a different era.
Well, you got to be ready sooner. I mean, like when you go and get these interior guys from high school, or they transfer from another college or junior college, they got to be ready to go.
Well, and it's a good teaching lesson. Like, guys, you could play at any time. You never know. And, you jump around here and there, and you kind of learn a scheme, and you don't look very good because you're jumping around all the time. I mean, you've got an opportunity. You never know when it's your time to play. And, it's like a Coach Saban saying, you got to focus on the process and making yourself better. The situation's not always the problem. Sometimes it's you. Most of the time, I would say it's probably you.
Very good point. Hey, this is the Bama Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company. And Cheryl Yuengling, our friend, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. And there's a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. Or try Yuengling Flight, which is the lighter, less carb Yuengling. All right, we come back. Steven's going to stay with us. We're going to talk more about this game, and then we'll get you to the Gating and Grilling segment. More of the Bama Tailgate Shows. We preview Bama and Vandy right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
This isn't just a place. It's a pulse and a rhythm where game day is more than a tradition. Heart-pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth-watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins. Get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tee times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here comes Tracy Lawrence, live for one night only. Saturday, November 15th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. All the hits, all night long, with CMA and ACM award winner Tracy Lawrence. Just the way I planned. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show with Jake Coker, Stephen Mesrano. I'm Mick Gillispie, and it is great to have you guys here on the show as we get you ready for Bama and Vandy, 2:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. And again, our show's brought to you by Yingling Lager. Yingling, a sixth-generation company. Our friend Cheryl Yingling, part of the company's ownership, proud Alabama grad. She's coming to the show when we play Oklahoma, and we'll be at Innisfree for that one. So come by and hang with us as we do the show like we always do when we're in Tuscaloosa at Innisfree, except today when we're at the Stryker Strong Golf Tournament, helping raise awareness for Stryker Strong and our friend Robbie Glenn, as we sit here right now. All right, guys, look, before we get to Kevin Sport and Gaten and Grillin, Stephen, final thoughts on what you expect from Alabama in this football game, and then will they be ready for Missouri? I mean, are they ready to take that next step in these games that maybe aren't as marquee as Bama and Georgia or the Iron Bowl?
I think so. I think based upon what we've seen with Coach DeBoer and what they did last year and this year, I think we match up a heck of a lot better against Missouri than we do with Vandy. I worry with our defense with the injuries stopping the run. Obviously, that seems to be a problem is the run game for us. And I don't know, again, as a fan, it seems like we're just not filling the hole or getting run pressure stops or whatever we need to be doing. But I don't know if that's coaching or if that's player mentality. But I think with the confidence that they've had for the past 3 games and then beating Georgia, it's one of those deals that if they keep that same mentality, I like where Alabama's head was with Georgia. If it stays that way, I think they take care of business, and I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. I think the defense is going to do their job, and it's going to be a time possession game the way Alabama offense is holding the ball 4 or 5 minute drives and scoring, and I think Vandy's doing the same. You've got like a really great Vandy offense, 12th in the country with a 90th defense, but then you flip it with pass defense and pass offense.
Yeah.
So I kind of think I think time of possession, and Bama's going to pull out maybe by a touchdown or 2.
I don't think this is a ant sledgehammer situation like Ryan Williams said. I think Vanderbilt's legitimately a good team.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to? I was going to say
save it for the end, but I'm just saying they are a good team.
Yeah, we got. You got to wait to the end, man. We're all hanging on.
Wait for another hour, everybody. It's and write it down. He's a capper. He's the king capper.
Look, this year though, it to me is different. I mean, you look at, again, last year we get down, and I do think it was somewhat of a confidence issue. I mean, you look at last year, Kalen DeBoer comes in thinking he's got Ryan Grubb as his offensive coordinator. And look, this is not I love Nick Sheridan. I think he is great, but I do think it's a weird situation when, right when you get there, you think you've got Ryan Grubb and your whole coaching staff coming in from Washington and just same team, different uniform type deal with those coaches. I think Nick Sheridan rolling in and being the offensive coordinator for the first time kind of throws a wrinkle in everything because you haven't had any time as a head coach or an offensive coordinator to get together and call plays in game time situations. There's just not a whole lot of experience there. And I know Nick Sheridan's always been involved with those guys, but it's a different level of confidence when you've gone through your most of your coaching career with one guy as your offensive coordinator, and then you flip it coming into the biggest job you've ever had. So I think Ryan Grubb coming back, being the offensive coordinator, having that kind of experience, I think that does change things. And I think Nick Sheridan is going to be, I think he will be the offensive coordinator at some point where Ryan Grubb takes a head coaching job somewhere. That's my personal opinion. And I think he's going to do a great job. I mean, again, you look at Ryan Grubb, some of the plays he called, that third down conversion against Georgia where the fake sprint out, roll back right and hit Jam Miller. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
That's beautiful.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. And it was, I mean, now you're going to see that on 50% of the third and fourth down conversions for the rest of the year. I bet you start seeing that all over the place.
Yeah.
People are going to copycat the heck out of that.
Yeah. Well, don't forget this. I do a show on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel with Shank, right? Alphonse Taylor. He's a big dude. He loved the play where they threw the ball to Caden Proctor. He said the only difference is that if they would have done that with him, which Lane Kiffin was his offensive coordinator, he would have scored. That's what Shank said.
Well, I think he got a lot of sets out of that we hadn't seen because if you watch the game, they put Proctor out wide and he was running across on a false start. They said jam. It was like early in the game, there was a false start and they went away from it, but he was out wide. They put him in motion. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of different wrinkles with him. I think Ryan Grubb is doing a great job. And I really like how I've seen Nick Sheridan coaching Ty when he comes off the field. That 1-2 punch is phenomenal.
And I don't think people don't realize how big that is because Nick Sheridan, I know, is very close. From what I've heard, he's really close with Ty and all the quarterbacks. But to have Ryan Grubb up there, being the play calling engineer and having a guy you can come to and feel comfortable talking to, and a guy that understands how you learn, telling you the adjustments or what you need to look for on the sideline is huge. I mean, I always liked Lane. Lane was. Before we started, in 2014, he was supposed to be up in the box calling plays, but we all felt more comfortable with him on the field because we could talk through everything without having to get on a phone and we could have face-to-face conversations during the game. I think Nick, again, a compliment to Nick and what I think he's going to do for this Alabama program over time. Him being able to be that guy fills a huge void. Allows Ryan Grubb to be up there and see everything, and you've got a guy who can speak to the quarterbacks in a way that you trust he's telling them what they need to do. And so, again, I think that's kind of another one of those confidence builders that we may have lacked last year. So
if you take the loss to Florida State, you saw in the second half a lot of Ty talking to Nick on the sidelines, and when Bama was trying to come back, you could see.
And Nick's that calm demeanor. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah, right.
And to me, we've said this on the show over and over again about week one. I felt like it kind of felt like Vandy last year, where we could not get on the same page. I mean, if we had the right call, we dropped it. If we, we tied, really the biggest mess up he had was that fourth down where he threw the ball to Ryan instead of running for it. But I always felt like Ty was making the right decisions. He was playing with toughness, and we just couldn't put it together. And I think we've kind of figured it out, gotten the kinks out, and we're finally starting to roll.
Stephen, great to see you today. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about Stephen Mesrano, Alabama injury lawyers, top 10 best attorneys last year. I know you'll be back there again this year when they vote for that. The top one, the national top 100 trial lawyers. You do a lot of stuff, man. So tell people about what you do.
Well, I mean, here from the state of Alabama, my parents were in a nasty car wreck when I was in college. I got in one, and knowing what we kind of both went through when I wanted to be a lawyer, I couldn't really figure out where I wanted to be, and it just kind of fit to be in personal injury and understand what my parents went through, what I went through. So I understand what it's like to lose the job, not have the money coming in, worried about the medical bills or need medical attention, where to go to the doctor. So it just was a perfect fit for me to use the talents God gave me in my voice to go fight for people and be in a courtroom, which I love, being in courtrooms and fighting for those that need someone to help them. And so we've been very blessed and very lucky to go across the state and help Alabama citizens and continue to fight to keep Alabama safe. Well, I like to say we keep Alabama safe one case at a time, just trying to change the bad habits. I mean, I love this cell phone, but man, how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
Cars are getting a lot smarter, but they're not safer for people because of all the technology in the cell phone. So we're just, trying to help people the best we can, one at a time. And I tell anybody, if you need us, it's the easiest number to remember in the state. Any area code, it's just 900-9000, and we'll be there for you.
All right, man. Thank you for coming out, Stephen, and let's do it again. Come hang out.
Thank you so much.
And guys, I want to tell you too, if you're watching on our channel and you're going, he looks really stylish with that Bama Tailgate Show hat on, and same with Coker and me. Hey, you can get one too, right there. Join Mick Nation, Avenue D. Hit that QR code. Play all the different games. We give out weekly winners. As far as gear goes, we gave away tickets to Wisconsin, and we're going to continue to do that. Talking about continue, we got the Gating and Grilling segment coming up. Carl the Cook Lewis and Kevin Sport getting you guys set up for your next tailgate. And then when we come back, second hour, we'll start with Chris Lowe.
Welcome to Game Day Grubs, where Southern flavor meets Saturday football. We're serving up bold, but sometimes simple, tailgate recipes that will heat up your game day.
I'm Carl Lewis, North Carolina barbecue pitmaster.
And I'm Kevin Sport, and I love the South, I love a tailgate, and I love some football. So what are we making today, Coach?
Today we're bringing the Boom Hoss, brisket stuffed jalapenos.
I like it.
They're smoky, cheesy, bacon-wrapped bites of pure game day glory, Hoss. We need a pair of knives.
All right. We got the jalapeno pepper.
There you go. I'm gonna show you how to do it right here.
Show me how to do it.
See that stem?
I do.
All right. We want to save that stem. Most people get here and cut this off. We don't want to do that.
All right.
I'll show you. You want to cut it like this, and then we're gonna pull. Got to have a aluminum pan. I'm gonna show you. There's a spoon down there. Will you hand me that spoon?
I will.
Here's the reason for this. When you stuff this pepper,
yeah,
and when they come off the grill, it still looks like a jalapeno pepper.
I got you.
Like okay. Everybody eats with their eyes first, so you want it to look nice.
It's rock and roll.
We're fixing to build the stuffing for.
What you need?
I need the bigger bowl.
All right.
All right. Yep. Cream cheese. Now bring the cheese.
All right. Here we go. Adding the cheese. That's the cheddar. Man, I love pepper jack. I just love the smell.
Yeah. You know
then what, Coach?
You know what I'm gonna do? John Boy and Billy original grilling sauce.
Man.
Hand me that John Boy and Billy pork rub.
Just kind of know how much to put in.
It was about 3 tablespoons
About
of grilling
3
sauce.
tablespoons of grilling sauce.
Maybe,
Okay.
and
All
about
right.
a tablespoon of the pork roll. Incorporate this cheese into cream cheese a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the thing that's unheard of.
Okay.
It's leftover brisket.
Oh, just like chop. Yeah.
You want it chopped up in little bitty pieces. Right. Yeah, you do it.
Look at that. All right, so you're mixing it up. You got it all mixed. What's after that?
Now we start stuffing the peppers. And as you build these things,
Yeah.
you move them out of your way onto your rack.
When we put these in here, about how long are we going to cook them?
We're going to run them about 350-ish for probably about 45 minutes. The bacon that we're going to wrap around here, we want that bacon to render down and kind of crisp up.
Oh, the bacon.
Oh, yeah. It gets better. All right, now I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is thick cut bacon. You start at the head of it. Got it?
Start at the head.
Kind of get it behind it a little bit.
Okay.
And the whole key here
is a wrap.
And pull.
Wrap and pull.
Pull that bacon down tight.
All right, I can do
And,
this.
and just lap it over because it's going to render out. See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Come back over and pull.
Well, yours just looks, see?
You want it sitting just like that.
See, all this togetherness is bonding.
I'm actually starting to get to enjoy you a little bit.
Really?
No.
That's right.
Pull tight.
Yeah? Does that look right?
That looks really good.
Really?
You've done a great job.
Hey! Hey, wrapping up the jalapeno. Try that. You can do it with me. Hey, wrapping up the jalapeno. Ah, see there? I knew you'd like it.
Now we're going to season it.
Middle rack, nice even cook. We got it wrapped, we got it stuffed.
Smoke kissed.
Can't wait. See you in 45 minutes.
Wait till you see these things.
Yeah. Oh, wow, man, the reveal. Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Are they not beautiful?
That's beautiful.
Now that'll make you some friends. And I'm coming at you right there. Now,
okay,
since we transport, my mama taught me this.
All right, put the paper towel down in the pan.
Right. What it's going to do is make them so they're not so soft when they get to the game. All right, since we got these pre-done, when we get to the game, we're just going to toss them back on the smoker for a little while.
Yeah.
5 minutes, we'll be ready to feed the crowd.
Oh, cool.
That sounds like it's hot, dude.
Oh, yeah, it's hot.
That's what you get being in a hurry.
Wait, man, I couldn't wait.
All right, what you got?
Talk
to me.
I got the cream, I got the cheese.
You're a lot prettier when you don't talk.
Hungry for more? Like, follow, subscribe to Gating and Grilling on all your socials. For the flavor, the tips that can take your tailgate to a new level. And don't forget, the tailgate doesn't stop. Full episodes of Gating and Grilling will drop after the season.
Let's go, Kevin. Come on.
Okay, well,
We're gonna roll.
see you at the tailgate.
Boise State versus Notre Dame. The Broncos stampede to South Bend as a 17.5-point dog, and the first meeting ever with the Irish airing on NBC. State had an easy win over Appy State last week, 47-14, while the Pope's pupils destroyed the Hogs in Fayetteville, 56-13. The national championship runner-up last year should easily break a Bronco at home. Leonard's loser, Boise State. Kent State versus Oklahoma. The Golden Flashes come storming to Norman for this Saturday afternoon debacle. The most exciting thing about this game will be the throwback uniforms the Sooners will wear dating back to the Bud Wilkinson era. The visitors can pass the time heading back to Ohio, counting the $1.5 million they will receive for this whooping. Leonard's loser, Kent State. Colorado versus TCU. The Buffaloes leave Boulder headed to Fort Worth hoping to catch a hoppy toad. Neon Dion's Buffs are struggling at 2-3, and this Saturday don't promise no relief. TCU quarterback Josh Hoover will give Colorado's defense its stiffest test yet. Leonard's loser, Colorado. Minnesota versus Ohio State. The Golden Gophers invade the shoe looking to catch the pole sitter napping. The visitors are 3-1 and averaging 33.5 points per game. Still, they are 24-point underdogs. The home team is leading the nation in defense, allowing just 5.5 points per game. State should have no trouble maintaining their lofty perch when the final gun sounds. Leonard's loser, Minnesota. Washington versus Maryland. The Huskies mushed the 2,748 miles from Seattle to College Park, hoping to step on a terrapin. This Big Ten matchup has the undefeated Turtles defending their home turf against the 3-1 Sled Dogs. Still too many undefeated teams going into Week 6. Leonard's loser, Maryland. Wyoming versus UNLV. This prognostication from Cousin Will in Vegas, who is smoking at 4-0, let's see if he keeps rolling. The undefeated Rebels make the dusty trip to Laramie to face a 2-2 Cowboy in this late afternoon rodeo on CBS Sports Network. War Memorial Stadium has the highest elevation in the FBS, giving Wyoming a unique home field advantage. This one hinges on will and coaching as the Rebels are in the hunt for a spot in the CFP. The Cowboys will spur up, but their lassos will fall short. Leonard's loser, Wyoming. Here's Leonard's list of likely losers. Cincinnati will lose to Iowa State. Purdue will lose to Illinois. Houston will lose to Texas Tech. Campbell will lose to North Carolina State. Kansas State will lose to Baylor. Coastal Carolina will lose to Old Dominion. ETSU will lose to Furman. Army will lose to UAB. And Oklahoma State will lose to Arizona. Well, folks, that does it for Week 6 as we head into that colorful trick-or-treat month. Start looking for the fattest turkey in the pen. And remember, if you can't wear a smile, wear a white hat so we can tell you from the bad guy. Get me out of here, Percy.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yingling Lager. Yingling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Floribama world famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mesrano. Mesrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
Welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show, getting you set for Alabama and Vanderbilt. We appreciate all of you guys for hanging out. and being part of our show, whether you're watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel or you're hanging out with us here on the show, listening on radio. Great to talk to you guys across the state. This segment with our friend Chris Lowe from On3 is brought to you by Visit Sevierville. Visit Sevierville. It's the perfect time to do. Fall's a great time to visit Sevierville in the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountain Harvest Fest is underway right now until October 31st, which means creative fall displays throughout Sevierville and fall-themed events, as well as brilliant fall colors in the trees. Peak leaf viewing is typically mid-October through mid-November. Learn more at visitsevierville.com/fall. And you got Winterfest coming up. So many great things going on in Sevierville. And a guy that's not too far from there is our friend Chris Lowe from On3. We talk to him each week. Good to talk to you, Chris. Bama and Vanderbilt game day coming to Tuscaloosa. Only the second time ever that Vanderbilt has been part of an ESPN game day experience. And this Vanderbilt team's 5-0 right now, nationally ranked. Bama coming off of a huge win against Georgia. What a matchup.
Yeah. And I thought we talked a little bit last week. I mean, I felt like this was going to be a hard game for Bama, regardless of whether they won or lost in Athens. And, you know, being there and seeing the way that they were so poised when they needed to be. And I think it all starts with Ty Simpson, the way he's playing. And being around the locker room and talking to the kids after and talking to Kalen DeBoer, it looks like a team and a program that's turned a corner. You started to see that the last few weeks. But now you come in back home against a team that beat you last year, an embarrassing loss. And that's not to diss Vandy. It just is when Bama loses to Vandy. They tore the goalpost down. Now you got Diego Pavia, who's not afraid to speak his mind and talking about, you know, what they're going to do to Bama. So I still think when you come off an emotional high and a win like that, one that Bama needed so much, and you come back home against a team everybody expects you to beat, once again, here's Bama, double-digit favorite, just like they were against Oklahoma last year, like they were against Vandy, like they were against Michigan. This is a hard place in the schedule, I think, to play Vandy because Vandy's tough. They're disciplined. They won't be intimidated. They are a good football team. Look at what they've done to teams in the second half this year. Now, they haven't played Georgia. They haven't played a team of that caliber the way Alabama has, but they've gone on the road twice already and beaten Power 4 teams. So I'm not one who's ready to say, well, Bama's just going to mow through them because I've seen Vandy. I've watched them practice. I do think they're a good football team. And I think mentally and emotionally for Bama, this will be a test because they have played down to their competition level a good bit over the last year plus.
Yeah, well, LT Overton talked to the media earlier this week and basically, you know, as the leader of the defense, not taking Vanderbilt lightly. This isn't Vanderbilt from 3 years ago. I mean, maybe the closest thing to it be when James Franklin was coaching. It's only their second 5-0 start since 2008, or excuse me, in 80 years. The only other one was 2008.
Right.
They've got a quarterback that has pro experience. And what I mean by that is the guy should be in the pros, but he's in college. I mean, he's a legitimate college Heisman Trophy contending, experienced quarterback, and he's never lost to the Alabama teams. He's beaten Auburn twice, and he's playing Alabama, having beaten them last year. The guy's got the ability to run and pass, and Bama hasn't done a good job of stopping the running game of teams, and he's going to probably bring the toughest run game that Bama's going to face just because he can do so many different things with the ball.
Yeah, it's that old cliche, you know, when you got a quarterback that can run the football, a lot of times offenses just outnumber you, Mick. And he's certainly a guy that, you know, if he has to, he'll carry it 20 times. And, you know, I was with Diego earlier this week to do a story. And, you know, when you're with him, I mean, they list him at 6 foot. I think that's a stretch. But he's wide, man. He's strong in the core, and he's a lot more athletic and a lot faster than you think he is. And he's tough. He reminds me a little bit of Connor Shaw at South Carolina. Connor Shaw was one of those kids, man, that you just had a hard time getting on the ground. He competed, and he wasn't afraid to stay in the pocket, and yet he could extend plays. And Pavia is the same way. Boy, he's not scared of the devil himself. That's the thing. He can talk all he wants and it doesn't make one bit of difference about the way he's going to play in this game. And certainly he's done some talking. Johnny Manziel said this week when I was talking to Johnny, who's supposed to be on the sideline for the game, wearing a Pavia jersey, by the way, that he said, listen, I beat Bama once. Diego's got a chance to beat him twice. He said, man, that's the bleep they build statues for in your honor if you beat a team like Alabama twice. So,
yeah,
we'll see. But I do think it's got a chance to be a good football game. I think, and here, this is what's important to remember about Bama. And we've discussed this too. The version of Alabama you saw Saturday at Athens was the healthiest version we've seen of Alabama yet.
Yeah.
Getting Tim Keenan back in the middle of that defensive line was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Jam Miller back at running back, just his ability to protect when teams blitz. Who got the football just about every time, Mick, when they were trying to run the ball off the goal line late to end that game? Jam Miller, in some form or fashion, handled that football just about every time. So he is a vital part of this offense. So to have both those guys back, I can't underscore enough how much it meant to be healthy in what was the toughest game Bama has played this year.
Yeah, we've talked a lot, and we've given Vanderbilt a lot of respect. We know that they are a great team and that they have the ability to beat Alabama. They did it last year. But this is a different Alabama team with Ty Simpson. He just has risen to the occasion when it comes to the leadership part of the job. And he's quarterbacking right now at an elite level, not getting a lot of help from the run game a little bit, but listening to Kirby talk about how tough it was to defend him after the game and the respect that he had for his ability to read defenses and make accurate passes, to me instills a lot of confidence that Bama's offense could lead them to wins, even if the defense isn't great.
Mm-hmm. We probably forget we have short memories, Mick. This is Ty's fourth season on campus. He's been around, and he hasn't played a lot. I'll grant you that in games, but he's been around a lot. He's played for different offensive coordinators. He's had to adjust. He's had to learn to be resilient, and I think he's learned a lot of football in that time. He was under Nick Saban for 2 years. I talked to Ty last week for a piece I did. He said something I hadn't thought about. He says, I saw Kirby's defense, which was essentially Alabama's defense, for 2 years when Coach Saban was here. I played against it every day in practice, in the spring, in the preseason. So he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot of things that defenses have tried to throw at him, albeit in practice and not in games. And you really sort of saw that savvy and that experience Saturday night on the road. I was there, man. That place was raucous, and for him to play as efficiently as he did with the confidence and the swag that he did, I think says a lot about his experience. And the other thing I think we probably take for granted sometimes about quarterbacks or playing at a high level is how much the people around him believe in him. And it's very clear in talking to whether it's Caden Proctor, guys on defense, how much faith and belief they have in Ty. And, we're not supposed to have favorites in the media, guys that we root for, quote unquote, but it's hard not to root for kids like Ty Simpson. The fact that he hung around, he waited his turn, he bet on himself, I don't think he had a horrible game in the opener. Now, quarterbacks always get blamed when you lose, but he caught a lot of flack. His family caught a lot of flack. And now here he is playing at a level that few quarterbacks in the country are. Maybe the only guy who is the guy that's going to be on the other side of the ball Saturday for Vandy. And, you want quarterback matchups. This has a chance to be as entertaining as it gets.
No doubt about it. It's exciting. Alabama against Vanderbilt, and obviously a big game for the Crimson Tide as they need to keep winning, right? And for Vanderbilt, they win this game, they'd go to 6-0. For Alabama, they win this game and they exact a little revenge as far as what happened last year. But game day in Tuscaloosa and the Crimson Tide hoping to be able to kind of follow up what they were able to do last week in Athens. This is where Kalen DeBoer and his staff struggled, was dealing with success last year. Are they ready to deal with success? And what I mean by that, are they going to have this team ready to play Vanderbilt?
I counted Saturday night late there in the bowels of Sanford Stadium when Ken was talking. I counted at least 3 times, Mick, that he used the word sustain. And, he said, no, not just in games, but in practice, in every series, every play. And he's certainly aware that. So he's coached, 17 games now in Alabama? I think that's right. He's certainly aware in that span that Bama has not been consistent. They've not played at a consistently high level. They've been good in big games. They've beaten Georgia twice. How many teams have beaten Georgia in back-to-back years since Kirby's been there? They beat LSU, looked great against LSU last year. They played well in some of their bigger games against better opponents. Even the Tennessee game last year, they played great, but that game went down to the final possession on the road in Neyland Stadium. Tennessee was a playoff team. It's these games, as you point out, games where they're double-digit favorites, where most people expect them to win. Can they play at that level? And as Nick Saban used to say, not watch the scoreboard. There's that inner scoreboard that you have. And I think that's where this team needs to prove that it's over that hurdle. And this is a great time to do that against listen, Vanderbilt's not a good story. They're a good team. We're past that point. Oh, Vanderbilt, they've beaten some teams and they're 5-0. No, they're a good, solid, deeper football team. I was with Clark Lee this week, and he said it's by far the deepest team they've had. They spent money, Mick, in the offensive line. They brought in 3 portal transfers in the offensive line, 2 tackles, and they've made a big difference in Vandy's ability to run the football, coupled with the fact that Pavi is such a threat to get out and make plays with his legs. They're disruptive in their defensive front. They have dominated teams in the second half. I think it's 123-26 in the last 4 games. They've outscored opponents in the second half. And keep in mind that South Carolina is one of those. At South Carolina. Now, I don't think the Gamecocks are going to national title this year, but that's a tough place to play at night, South Carolina. And Vanderbilt went in there and dominated them. So, again, going back to my original point, I think this is a good test, a telling test for Alabama. Going back to your question, can they sustain it? Do we see the same kind of focus, energy, the same kind of toughness to finish games? They're going to have the crowd on their side. If they get Vandy down, do they indeed finish them? And I think if they do, and they look like they did against Georgia, I think it's pretty fair to say that this program has turned a corner. Doesn't mean they're going to win the rest of their games, but certainly this is a telltale type of game that I think can punctuate the fact that this is not the same Bama team or program we saw in Week 1 in Tallahassee.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Floribama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Floribama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Floribama or online at FloriBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. Call 909,000 Stephen Mesrano.
As it gets to her. Saturday, October 4th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com. More at aaronlewismusic.com.
I'm American as it gets.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American as it gets to her.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
Welcome back to the Stryker Strong Golf Tournament. This is the Bama Tailgate Show with Jay Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie, and we're previewing Alabama and Vandy, and we go down to, well, actually we go up to North Alabama, and we bring on our friend Thom Abraham from our affiliate up there, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Thom, good to see you today, and I see all the logos behind you, so it's perfect that you're here for this particular show where it's a little bit of a different lineup today because we're going to ask you to help us pick some games, and then we'll talk a little bit of Alabama. But roll tide, my friend.
All right, man, roll tide. Yeah, I'm always here to pick games, that's for sure.
You love it. All right, look, this segment's brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. You're talking about the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is in Golden Moon Casino, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. Thom, let's just get right into it. You know Jay Coker. He's got his own – he might as well be a capper, right?
You want me to go ahead and pick, or am I picking this?
No, well, we're going to pick some games here.
Okay, yeah.
Can we let our guests do –
Sorry, Thom.
Let's let Thom start this off. Thom, Miami is at Florida State. This is a very low-key weekend when it comes to games. I mean, look, Bama Vandy's on the ESPN game. So, I mean, no offense to Vandy, but – Florida State's hosting Miami. It's a 4.5-point spread. Florida State's a favorite at home. 53.5 is the over/under. What do you got on this game?
Well, we have this game in our Beat the Big Dog deal this week up here in Huntsville and in Nashville. So this is one we've been talking about. It also was in our Friday trifecta yesterday as well. I think that Florida State's going to hang here. They had an embarrassing loss at Virginia. These games have typically been tight in the past. Florida State's got to get that taste out of their mouth. I don't know if they win the football game, but I could see Miami winning this on a field goal. This is the first time they're really going out there on the road. So I'm taking the 4.5 points. You give me a home dog like that, I'm taking the 4.5 points with Florida State.
All right, 4.5 points. Then let's swing things over to Mr. Jay Coker. The Coker capping service here. What do you got? I'm
with Thom on this. I think this is a pretty good line, though. This one doesn't jump out to me and favoring anybody either way too much. 4.5 is probably where I would have put it. FSU, to me, FSU is one of those teams kind of like Alabama last year. They're going to show up for big games. I know they've had some blowout wins too, but I don't see them being consistent enough to just beat teams the way they should week in, week out. I think they show up for Miami. I like Carson Beck a lot, obviously, and I think, to Tom's point, I think they have a 2-minute drive at the end of the game. He puts it together, and they win by field goal.
Look, I didn't play quarterback at Florida State. I don't have the collection of rings, championship rings that you have there. And this isn't going to be a championship season for Florida State. Miami's coming in. And Miami's going to do the same thing Virginia did to Florida State last week. Miami's bringing a hurricane to Tallahassee. It's going to be all Miami in this one. I don't even know if it's going to be close. I like the Hurricanes with Carson Beck. Miami, look, Florida State caught us at the exact right time. New roster. We had a new offensive coordinator. We didn't know what the players were doing. If we played them now, it'd be a different ball game. I think that this is.
You think so?
Yeah,
you think so. But with that offense, I mean, there's a lot of eye movement there. I mean, you got to be really disciplined, and they did have the tools to beat us with those athletes. So I think they do the same thing with Miami.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do the second game here that we got on the docket.
I know one thing about that game. I'll just say this. If you're a Bama fan, you are a Seminoles fan this week. I mean, this is an important game for data points when it comes to the end of the season. So I think it's very, very important. If you're a Bama fan, you are pulling for the Seminoles this week to knock off Miami and kind of make that loss look a little bit better.
For those of you that are hanging,
chill out, Mick.
Yeah, chill out, Mick. Look, for those of you that are watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, like and subscribe, thumbs up, all those things. But if you're listening on radio, you're missing Tom's background, which is like I'm staring at every SEC logo, and they're all coming at us in 3-dimensional views. So you guys need to check that out. If you're listening on radio, go to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, watch. All right, this one might not seem that sexy, but I'm going to tell you something. After I watched Tennessee and Mississippi State, I got a lot of respect for the direction that the Bulldogs are going. They're at number 6, Texas A&M. It's a 14.5-point spread. The over-under is 55 in this game. I'm going to start with you, Jake Coker.
I think Texas A&M has been pretty inconsistent all year long. I think they've got the pieces to be a really good football team. Mississippi State, I think they're limited from a talent perspective, but I think they're coached pretty well this year. They're making the steps in the right direction. I think that Texas A&M finally puts it together offensively and defensively and covers that spread. I think that spread's a little high based on what we've seen, but it leads me to believe that A&M is in the spot to put it all together this week.
All right, Tom Abraham, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. What you got?
I agree with Jake on this. I think that we're going to see State on the road. They have battled. They certainly have battled and been a scrappy team. There was no doubt about it. I was a little bit surprised at how tough they played Tennessee, but some of that is Tennessee on the road. I think that this is an opportunity for A&M to kind of stretch it out a little bit and just kind of start really separating the haves from the have-nots. And State, give them a lot of credit. They're not there yet, and I could see A&M pulling away. This could be a tight game through 3 quarters. State chips a couple in, or A&M chips a couple in late to cover the 14 and a hook.
All right, I like what you guys are doing right here. I think A&M is going to beat Mississippi State handily. I think Mississippi State, though, is going in the right direction. I like what Jeff Lebby's doing. The fact that they went out and spent $15 million on the roster paid off. They should have beat Tennessee in that game.
You're taking Texas A&M?
Yeah, I'm going to give up the points, but I'm not
too late to change my pick.
Listen, I'm the one going to Vegas here. I'm going out there, and you guys don't have to go all the way out to Vegas. You can go to Golden Moon Casino and the Timeout Sports Lounge. It's an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. You can make your picks count there without jumping on a plane and going all the way out west to Vegas. Tom, can you stick around for the next segment? We'll talk Bama and Vanderbilt.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that, guys. When we come back, we're going to get into this. But before, let me tell you this. Bama is favored only by 10.5 over Vandy. The over-under is 56.5. And if you want to put your money down on it, Golden Moon Casino and the Timeout Sports Lounge is in Philadelphia, Mississippi. They've got traditional sports betting in which guests can bet on all professional league sports and major college athletic sports as well. I watched the Cubs take care of business. Now they're going to play the Brewers. You got Tom's Yankees taking care of business. They're going to play the Blue Jays. You can go bet on all that stuff as well over there at the Timeout Sports Lounge in Philadelphia, Mississippi. So your favorite teams catch all the action, 20 big screen TVs with all the major sports on there, 12 state-of-the-art wager boards listing all the games and scores, 3 wager stations to place in-person bets, and then that full bar. Also, Aaron Lewis is going to be there this weekend as well. So that's at Pearl River Resort. over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. When we come back, we're going to talk Bama and Vandy. We're even going to get some picks on that game. More of the Bama Tailgate Show right after this.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 6 of Leonard's Loser. The little smart pill machine was spitting out those losers last week and finished at 25-8. Cousin Will from Vegas maintained his perfect guess prognostication record and goes to 4-0. Percy, pull that rope start and let's get her started. Kentucky versus Georgia. The Cats make the trek to the Athens Pound for a nooner down south. Both teams are coming off a L last week, with Uga being drowned by a high tide and the felines spurred to death by a gamecock. This could have playoff consequences for the Red Clay Hounds, and they best be wary of Wildcats lurking between the hedges. Leonard's Loser, Kentucky. Miami versus Florida State. The number 3 ranked Hurricanes blow into Doak Campbell Stadium Saturday night, looking to maintain their lofty position in the polls. The Canes had a bye week, while Osceola's Spear was dulled by Cavalier in Charlottesville. Norville's Knowles need to rebound in this interstate rivalry to keep their playoff hopes alive. Leonard's Loser in an upset, Miami. Clemson versus University of North Carolina. Who would have thought the Tigers would be at the bottom of the ACC, 1-3 and 0-2 in conference play going into Week 6? Tar Heel mentor Bill Belichick has been given a warning on promoting son Steven, who is the Heel defensive coordinator, for the head job. At 73, Dad Belichick will be leaving Chapel Hill sooner than later. Dabo's felines best come out on top of this one, or his seat could reach scalding proportions. Leonard's Loser, North Carolina. Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. The 4-1 Bulldogs head to College Station to face the number 6 4-0 Aggies. The Bull Puppies lost a thriller in overtime to Tennessee last week, while the Aggies squeezed by a War Eagles 16-10. This SEC matchup may be decided by how well the 12th man plays. Leonard's Loser, Mississippi State. Texas versus Florida. This SEC slobber knocker matinee in Gainesville should provide some Saturday afternoon fireworks. Highly touted Horns quarterback Arch Manning had a breakout game against Sam Houston State last week, tossing 18 of 21 for 309 yards, 3 TDs, and no INTs. But that was Sam Houston State. The Giant Water Lizards have an impressive defensive stat, only allowing 5 TDs while posting a 1-3 record. The line opened with the Horns a 7.5-point favorite. Gator coach Billy Napier best stir up some offense to turn down the heat on his thin seat. Leonard's Loser, Florida. Vanderbilt versus Alabama. The Nashville Yacht Club set sail for Tuscaloosa at a matinee performance in Bryant-Denny. The Red Effluents have been licking their tusks, looking to avenge a huge upset as a 23.5-point road favorite last year in Music City. The Doors are riding their dinghy in the 16 spot, while the Tide holds the 10 spot. The Tide has a stingy defense at home, giving up only 14 points. Leonard's Loser, Vanderbilt.
Fans, we're going to take a break right now. Be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
All right, back on the Bama Tailgate Show. Thanks for hanging out with us with Jay Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie, and we are talking with Thom Abraham from North Alabama. Talking about Alabama and Vanderbilt. We'll have Robbie Glenn come on next segment to talk about Stryker Strong and the golf tournament. That's why we're here right now at Frank's house. Yeah, I'm at Frank's house right now. Just chilling out with Frank, doing the thing here in Bessemer. We'll get into that as well here in a second. But Thom Abraham, talking to you about this Bama-Vandy game. What are the things that Bama needs to do today to win this game?
Well, let's start by tightening up that defense against the run. I mean, Vanderbilt comes in, they run the ball very, very well. They're top 20 in the country running the ball. Alabama's 90th in defense against the run, gave up 7 yards a carry. against Georgia, and it was the only blemish in what was a nearly perfect football game for Alabama. What did we say going into that game? We said limit the penalties, don't turn the ball over. You add to that, they don't get sacked. If you have 4 penalties, no turnovers, and no sacks, you won the football game, and that was against Georgia. I do think that I know a lot of people are talking about how can this be a revenge game? They beat them 26 of the last 27 times. Not these kids. These kids got whacked in Nashville. So I think that they have Vandy's full attention, that Vandy has Alabama's full attention on this game. So I think Bama works on their run game a little bit, continues to expand on the pass game, does not take the foot off the pedal. We have seen that in the past with Kalen DeBoer, and they need to put the dot on the exclamation point from last week. And I don't think there's any, loss in enthusiasm or focus in this game against Vandy. So I think Alabama wins this thing going away. The dangerous part is Diego Pavia with his legs. Don't let that kid get loose on a 3rd and 12 for a 20-yard gain, and just overall tighten up the defense against the run. I don't think Vandy can do anything against them in the passing game. So I think that this will be a silent evisceration of Vanderbilt.
I know somebody else that feels the same way.
I'm gonna hold off till next segment.
Next
I guess.
segment. Okay, you hold off till next segment. I like Tom's confidence, though. Tom, have you seen Alabama try to stop the run this year?
Have I seen them try to stop the run?
Yeah. Have you noticed that they don't do a very good job of it?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's going on the edges?
Yeah, they gave up. Well, the linebacker play has been less than stellar, and they've had injuries there. There's no doubt about it. They've had injuries in the defensive line, but the front seven has not gotten it done. And if you look at it, when you start replaying, and I was a linebacker coach when I was coaching in college football, I'm seeing guys bad run fits. I'm seeing guys taking on blocks with the wrong shoulder. I'm seeing guys taking false steps and not, where they can't step and stack and flow. There's no backside flow, as far as the linebacker play. We just don't seem to see that kind of linebacker play right now out of this team. Can it be better? Yeah, it can be better. I also see him miss tackles. It used to be, back when Jake was playing and those teams had that great defense, if they came up to tackle you, you stayed tackled. We're seeing broken tackles. We're seeing safeties not making, those tackles near the line of scrimmage and things like that. All of those things contribute to being able to stop the run. Can that improve? Yeah, absolutely. It is something that can improve. Sometimes, though, the only way to improve it is through your recruiting. I don't know if they got the dogs that can do it, but look, you can't be perfect in every aspect of the game. If they can get decent run defense, they're great against the pass, not getting a ton of pressure defensively. But the way the offense is playing, you can overcome that stuff.
Can Kalen DeBoer, and I'm going to ask you this too, Coker, can Kalen DeBoer handle success? Because that's been through his first year. The issue.
Why don't you get Clinton Dix to come answer
that
for you?
Can he handle?
He's about ready to come over here and teach you.
I'm asking a question. I think it's a fair question. Can they handle success?
Went to a national championship 2 years ago.
Not last year, Tom.
He had success. The dude's won like 100 games. He can handle success.
Thank you, Tom. Again, we
look at this front runner.
Hey, we covered.
You didn't see him play against Oklahoma? What about Michigan?
We're about to get a few FCC complaints.
Convince me. I'm just telling you. I'm asking you to convince me.
Well, I think this is a different landscape this year. Look, Kalen DeBoer is coming into his second year with his man Ryan Grubb. We've already, we've covered that. I think this is a completely different culture. And after watching week one, I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But seeing their response to that, taking the criticism, and coming out and playing almost, perfect football on offense, defense.
Great game.
I still worry
all the way around. Great game.
I wish against Vandy we could come out, just play cover one the whole time, man everybody up, and just load the box. But what I do fear is that I've seen us get torched a lot in man coverage, so I am nervous about that. Guys are going to have to be really disciplined and win their matchups. It's been something that's been a little rocky at times this season, but I'll get into it in the next segment, but I feel pretty good about it.
All right. Last question for you, Tom. What does this game mean to Vanderbilt? This is the first time that the second time they've been on game day, and the second time they've been 5-0 in 80 years.
Well, what it means is they'll be in the top 10. I mean, can you imagine we're even saying that? I mean, this game, a win here puts them either in or very near the top 10. It just changes the whole. Right now, when you look at the rest, I had Vanderbilt at 4-1 here, guys, at SEC Media Days. All right, the only game that they've surprised me in is they went to South Carolina and won that football game. Look at the rest of their schedule. Not only is it Alabama, but Texas and the others that they have to play. They'll be favored in 2 games probably, at home against Auburn and the Kentucky game at home. They're not going to be favored in any other game. So they lose this game 7, maybe 8 wins is in play, which you throw them a parade when Vanderbilt, if they win 8 games. I mean, it's just that's the way it's going to be. So if they win this game, now all of a sudden you say, well, maybe they can win in Knoxville. Maybe they can win some of these other games, that they've got to play on their schedule. So it's a huge difference in whether or not they're going to be a 7-5 team in a decent bowl game, or whether or not they're literally going to be a team that is going to be talking about the P word. I mean, I can't even imagine that. But, I think that's how big it is for Vanderbilt. It's the biggest game in the history of Vanderbilt. But they've been playing football there for like 140 years. This is the biggest game since they were folding up their helmets and putting them in their back pocket after practice. So, I mean, it's huge.
I'm with you, Tom. Tell everyone how they can find you, the big dog, on the radio and on the net up in North Alabama.
North Alabama, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone in Nashville on WNSR, a couple of stations in between there as well. And then, of course, always on the app. Get the 97.7 ESPN, The Zone app, and you can listen to this madness wherever you are.
All right, great job. That's Tom Abraham, radio legend in this state, and a great guy to have on the show each week. Tom, we'll talk to you next week, man. Roll Tide. And I hope you're right. Look, I hope you guys are right. We're going to pick this game when we come back. Our friend Robbie Glenn from Stryker Strong is going to be here as well. So don't go anywhere. One more segment of the Bama Tailgate Show right after this.
Thank you, Tom. I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
This isn't just a place. It's a pulse and a rhythm where game day is more than a tradition. Heart-pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth-watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins, and get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tea times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here comes Tracy Lawrence, live for one night only. Saturday, November 15th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. All the hits, all night long, with CMA and ACM award winner, Baby, a burning hand. Tracy Lawrence. Make it look just the way I planned. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Final segment of the Bama Tailgate Show brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit, which is an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. And that kind of leads me to where we are right now. Frank's house is really a great golf course here in Bessemer. We're here for Stryker Strong Golf Tournament with Jay Coker. Robbie Glenn, you're the guy that put all this together. It's for your son. Good to see you today, man. Tell us about Stryker Strong.
Again, and being part of this. Sorry. Yeah, it's the 7th annual. We've been building this thing, and it's just getting bigger and bigger every year. A lot of sponsors come out and make this a great event to help with. We started it with TBRS, Tatten Brown Raman syndrome. And since then, my son, who has the syndrome, had a severe brain injury. So now we help kids with brain injuries and also with special needs. Anywhere we can help, we raise money for that. And it's a good time. Get a lot of support, like y'all coming out here and doing this. We love everything about it.
Well, keep up the great work, and thanks for having us. And we came last year just as just average guys, and then this year we bring the show. But continued success and again, what a great event. All right, let's talk about this Bama game. Bama versus Vandy. This is the biggest This is the biggest Bama Vandy game ever. I spit that out.
That's hard to get out. It's hard to say that game day is here for Vandy.
Yeah.
I was about to say, thank goodness, because if this wasn't the biggest game between these two ever, I don't know where game day would get. Well, I guess Florida State, Miami, but that's about it.
Yep.
It's hard to believe. And I mean, like, your thoughts on what Vanderbilt brings to the table. Johnny Manziel, they got a lot of excitement. I think Nashville is one of the all-time great cities in this country. They're in the middle of Nashville. Why is it that it took so long for Vanderbilt to have a decent football program?
Probably the academic part. That's a tough place to go. I mean, those guys are smart, but apparently they're doing it right. Pavia's brought in a toughness to them and a lot of belief. And, what they did last year. I mean, they're the Alabama State champs. They beat Auburn and Bama. So they're riding in here on high, and then you get Manziel coming in talking, which no one really cares what he says because it doesn't matter. But he is bringing the excitement in, and I think it's just going to be one of those games. Bama better be ready, and I think they will be.
What about you?
I think Vandy honestly has been built by the media hype machine. I think they've beaten a South Carolina team where South Carolina had more offensive yards than Vandy did, and they played with a backup quarterback. I don't think they've really competed against good teams this year. I think we're fearful because of last year, but when I look at it, I think our offense against their defense, I mean, they play a very conservative look on defense. They have a hard time pressuring. They have a hard time matching up with people. In terms of their offense, a lot of RPO stuff. Obviously, Pavia is going to be heavily involved in the run game. I think it's that they throw when they have to, average 25 attempts a game, and they make those count. I think they average like 9 yards per pass. But they've really forced the defense's hand and individualized matchups. But again, they played teams where you're matching up against guys who really can't compete with Vandy's athleticism. They hadn't played in Alabama yet. So the line is started out at 12.5, I believe. It's shrunk down to 10 because the public's all over Vandy. And that's kind of my final confidence booster.
You love this.
I mean, public's all over Vandy. Vegas knows what they're doing. That's kind of my final nail in the coffin of Alabama's covering.
All right, don't pick it yet. Let me let our guest Robbie go. Just right there. Just hold it right there. Robbie, pick this game.
I think, like I said before, I think it'll start out trying to fill it out, see what Pavia's doing and get him filled out. But I think our weapons on offense will take over, and I expect a big win, maybe 38-42 to 20, something like that. I don't even know if we'll get 20. They'll get 20.
I'm getting Ha-Ha's pick.
Yeah, we're going to
Bring them on. Bring them on.
I expect us to win by 30.
Okay, good. Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've been confident the entire week. But again, when you look at that line, 12.5, and the public's all over it, I'm taking Bama. I'm going at least 35-14, maybe a little more.
All right, Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, one of the all-time greats. Looking good. I like that cigar. What do you got, man? How's this game?
He's smoking the cigar before the game even starts.
He said, anytime you beat a team from Tennessee, you smoke a cigar. What's up?
I can't call it, man. I'm just glad to be here.
What do you think, though? I mean, like, how's this game going to break down?
Well, I think it's going to be a good game. Of course, it's the SEC, so it's always a good matchup. But I think we got a chip on our shoulder from last year's score, and we're going to come out here and dominate, of course, and start the game off strong.
Look, I'm with you on that. Is that what you think too?
That's what I'm thinking. So I just gave you my pick. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, look, I'll give you mine. I think you're right. I just think that it's going to be kind of close in the first half, but I feel like Alabama's going to take advantage of this opportunity that they built from Georgia on. I really think that this is something, and look, you guys can get on to me in the comment section. I got to play devil's advocate sometimes, but I'm feeling really confident because it always comes down to this in sports. Who your players are, right? And when you have better players and they're focused, which you guys know from being at Alabama, you're going to win. Talent always wins out if everything else is equal, and I think Alabama's going to be pretty focused for this one.
I couldn't agree more with you. We had a great week of preparation. The guys are locked in and focused. Of course, Josh Chapman always puts the rat traps out during the week, and these guys understand what the rat trap games are, and this is a game that we can dominate and win really quick, man, and let our second string and third string get in if we play a good game early.
Hey, that would be awesome.
How many fake quotes is Chapman putting up in the locker room nowadays?
Man, he puts them up every week. He makes them up. I think as soon as we defeated Georgia, I think he was on the plane making up some quotes right away.
I remember when we were playing, Coach Cock put those quotes up there, and it pissed everybody off before the game. And then the game be over, you realize all that was fake.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes you need
get them motivated, get them out there, be ready.
Makes
to go.
you wonder what Coach Cock was really thinking.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you.
How good is Ty Simpson?
Man, you know what? Just speaking from a mental standpoint, man, Ty is amazing. He's been performing well every week. He takes his preparation very serious throughout the week as well, and he's been leading this team like no other, like I've never seen him do before. And of course, he's always waited behind Bryce and Jalen Milroe, and now he has a chance to step up and be that guy. And he's been performing well every week.
I'll tell you what, he looks about as accurate as I've ever seen any quarterback look.
Hey, man, that has a lot to do with timing and knowing where you're going with the ball, too. I mean, indecision creates a lot of inaccuracy as a quarterback. And you watch him. He knows what's coming. He knows the answers to the test.
Yep.
And his timing's, he's right on time.
Yeah, and Jake was saying he reminds him of like kind of a college version of Drew Brees. I mean, is there somebody that you look at him and think, hey, Ty Simpson kind of resembles this guy?
Well, I think he has a little bit more swag than Drew Brees, but I like the comparison a lot. I like the comparison.
Well, he just always has an answer. You watch Drew Brees drop back, and you're like, well, he's going to find somebody. Right. And that's how I felt since the ULM game.
Yeah.
Hey, look, this isn't like the Vanderbilt teams that you guys played.
No.
This is a good Vanderbilt team, and I have a lot of respect for the conference as a whole's gotten better. I mean, even if Arkansas is the worst team in the league, I mean, I don't think they're as bad as their record.
That's what Vanderbilt said when they were undefeated in 2017.
Alabama, you're next.
They're going to show us what kind of ball they play.
We did this last year, and look what happened. We did this last year in Nashville.
It's going to be different.
We've already talked about it. No, I really think that this is a Vanderbilt team that's going to be in a bowl game. I think that they're going to be there in the end. They have a good quarterback and an offensive scheme. I just think that that Alabama has been focused on winning this game all offseason because we're right back to where we were. I mean, like, you take care of Georgia. These are the games that they struggled with last year. This is a tough game, but it's a winnable game.
Absolutely. I think it is too. Like you said, last year, they beat us. They beat us right out the gate, and that quarterback is really good. We're not taking it for granted at all. We know how good he is, and we know the plays that he can make with his feet, with his arm as well. So, we're going to take it one play at a time, man, and go out and dominate and come out with a victory.
What did it mean to you to play at Alabama? Like when you think about your playing career there and then what you did afterwards?
Man, it meant a lot to me. Just having to unlearn and relearn, coming in as a 5-star safety, number one safety in the country, and having to come sit on the bench and figure out how I can be better as an individual, develop great habits. Coach Saban always said good players do things so they get them right, and great players can't do things so they can't get them wrong. Which one do you want to be? And I didn't take that lightly at all. So, man, just the things I got to learn from him, being around great players, right? I tell my players all the time, like, if I wasn't around 10 other great players on the team, I probably wouldn't have been a first-round pick. It was the guys around me that made me better, that held me accountable. And that's kind of where we're at now, man. These guys are holding each other accountable. They're playing together as one, and, they trust each other, and that's really big.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember watching you, man. You're great. One of the all-time greats.
I'm sitting here in this interview watching him all calm, cool, and collected, but you know what he's capable of, and it's like, this is kind of scary.
You know what? Somebody asked me if I could trade quarterbacks, right? If I could remove A.J. McCarron and pick another quarterback to play with us in 2011, 12, and 13, it would be you.
Oh, man, I appreciate that.
I love your game, Doug. I love the way your tenacity, man. Your hunger for the game, man. The way you finish plays, man. You're a beast, man.
I appreciate it. Hey, it was fun. It's kind of like you said, though. You play at Alabama. I mean, we were joking around earlier. You show up and not play, you might, get stuffed in a locker.
I'm telling you.
He was saying Ryan Anderson.
And I'm saying Courtney Upshaw. You pick.
Clinton, great to see you, man. Roll Tide. Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Clinton Dix coming and hanging out with us on the Tailgate Show. That's it for us, guys. Bama and Vandy coming up. Don't forget that we're on now with our new podcast on the next round, and you guys can catch us there as well. So for Jake Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie, and everyone that hung out with us today, Bama and Vandy coming up. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.